The Huawei P40 and Huawei P40 Pro launch is set for March 26, and even though the phone is still a couple of weeks away, we've had the opportunity to hold the phone in our hands. You'll find everything we know about the P40 and P40 Pro so far, but you should note the company has already launched the Huawei P40 Lite ahead of the other two more exciting handsets. Because of the ongoing Huawei ban, new smartphones from the company can't use any Google apps, including the Play Store, greatly restricting their capabilities and value versus other smartphones. That will likely include the Huawei P40 Pro in a similar way to how the Huawei Mate 30 Pro was impacted. Despite the dubious future laid out for Huawei's handsets, we're eagerly anticipating the upcoming Huawei P40 smartphone. The Huawei P30 and P30 Pro from 2019 are some of our favorite phones, with the latter topping our best camera phones list for a long time thanks to its 5x optical zoom periscope lens and great software. New phones like the Samsung Galaxy S20 family as well as the rumored iPhone 12 are sure to be tough competition for Huawei and its P40 phones, so it'll be exciting to see what the company includes in 2020. We've listed what we want to see in the Huawei P40, as well as what we already know or have heard rumored. We'll be constantly updating this video with all the latest Huawei P40 leaks and rumors as they happen, to bring you the best idea of what to expect ahead of the handset's official launch. Huawei originally planned to announce the P40 series at a launch in Paris, but the company has had to cancel the physical event because of fears of the coronavirus. Instead, the company is hosting a live stream on March 26 where it will unveil the two new handsets. This comes as no surprise, since the P30 and P30 Pro were unveiled in Paris in March 2019, and the P20 and P20 Pro launch event took place in March 2018. The Huawei P40 price is a more interesting conversation. At launch, the Huawei P30 cost £699 per 1,099 Australian dollars, roughly $910, and the P30 Pro started at £899, 1,599 Australian dollars, around $1,140, which were both pricier than the previous year's entries. We've heard the Huawei P40 price could roughly match the P30, but the Pro model might actually be a little bit more affordable than its 2019 equivalent. The rumored Huawei P40 Pro Premium Edition is apparently going to set you back a whopping €1,200, around $1,320, £1,015, 1,955 Australian dollars, which is enough to rival the most pricey phones on the market. One thing we're not expecting though: for the Huawei P40 to be available in the US, as previous Huawei phones haven't been. It's likely the phone will be on sale in the UK and Australia, but we don't know anything for certain yet. Huawei P40 news and rumors here. We've collected everything we've heard about the Huawei P40 devices so far. Design and Display, a Huawei exec, has said that the P40 will have a never-seen design, suggesting big changes to the look, and that it will run Android 10 without Google services, and have performance and photo quality improvements. We've held an early version of the phone, although we were unable to see the device, and we can confirm it has rounded edges all around the device. That's including the top and bottom edges, so it feels similar to a pebble. There's no 3.5mm headphone jack, no speaker grill, and there's a rectangular camera surround on the rear of the device. We don't know what material the phone was made of, but it feels like glass or ceramic. A spokesperson for Huawei confirmed that the device will use materials previously unseen in smartphones, but the contact was unable to say what they could be. Leaked renders of the phone, and subsequent hands-on pictures match what we were able to feel. Those renders to show the different colors the phone could come in, from expected options like black and white to some more interesting tones like almond and blue. The design of the Huawei P40, at least the Pro model, might actually come without the curved screen of the P30 Pro, according to leaked screen renders. The leak seems tentative, so it might be wrong, but we could see the newer device be a little less top-end compared to its predecessor. We've seen screen protectors that suggest there will be a curved screen though, so the flat screen leak seems dubious. Having said that, a site got hands-on with a prototype of one of the models, believed to be the standard Huawei P40, and it claimed that the screen curved at all sides, albeit less dramatically than the Huawei Mate 30 Pro. You can see a hands-on image of the phone from the back, revealing that it also has a rectangular camera bump, a blue finish, a glass back, and a metal frame. The source claims the phone is a similar size to the 158 by 73.4 by 8.4 mm Huawei P30 Pro, but slightly thicker, curvier and more comfortable to hold. The fingerprint scanner is apparently built into the screen too. This source seems very convincing, but being a prototype it's possible that design elements will change. We've also seen a leaked image of the Huawei P40 camera bump. The rear lump seems to be in the top left of the phone's back, same as in the Huawei P30, and it doesn't seem too intrusive either, at least compared to devices from other companies. A leaked render gives us a different angle, and it looks like the bump could be just as long, but much wider, than the P30's. We know what you really want to know, what photography will be like, and we've heard many rumors of the Huawei P40 Pro camera specs. A Huawei product expert confirmed the P40 and P40 Pro wants to have a market-leading sensor technology specifically designed to set new records. It's set to be something the company calls its new super visual image system. The device, according to some sources, is said to have a 5-camera array consisting of a 64MP main snapper, 12MP zoom camera, which is supposed to facilitate up to 10x optical zoom, which would match the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra as the best in a smartphone, and ultra-wide, depth sensing and macro cameras of unspecified resolution. Saying that, a separate leak suggests the main camera will be a 52MP snapper, and the fact that leaks are contradicting each other suggests we shouldn't take any of them as gospel just yet. That 52MP claim has been made several times, with a source adding that it would use quad Bayer tech to combine 16 pixels into one, resulting in snaps of just 3.25MP, but with a massive pixel size which would likely allow for superb low-light shots. Of course, you wouldn't have to shoot at 3.25MP, as it's also rumored to support 4-in-1 pixels for 13MP shots, and would likely allow you to shoot in full 52MP quality as well. That source also reiterated the claims of a 10x zoom lens, saying that this would be possible by using 2 prisms in the mechanism, rather than the single prism that current periscope lenses on smartphones use. It points to a 52MP main lens that can take 16-in-1 shots, a 40MP ultra-wide secondary lens, and up to 10x optical zoom. Given that we've heard the 52MP and 10x optical zoom claims numerous times now, those two aspects seem likely. One of the sources also stated that the base Huawei P40 would have 4 rear cameras, dropping one of the Pro's cameras, but another rumor suggests the Huawei P40 will have the same 3 cameras as the Huawei P30. We've got our reservations about that, because it wouldn't make sense for a device that will put such an emphasis on photography to not innovate in the camera department, but perhaps Huawei has something else up its sleeves, like new software tricks. Another render showed 3 rear cameras on the Huawei P40, but 2 front-facing cameras, so it seems there could be improvements for selfies but not for typical pictures. Having said that, a different leak, this time hands-on and very convincing, showed 4 rear lenses on what's believed to be the Huawei P40, so our best guess is still that it will have 4, one of which looks like a periscope zoom lens. At least one of the models may well have 2 front-facing cameras though, as a leaked image supposedly showing the Huawei P40 Pro includes a large dual-lens camera cut out. The Huawei P40 and P40 Pro could both be 5G phones, as a listing for a Chinese regulatory body suggests. This makes sense as they're expected to run on the Kirin 990 chipset, which supports that next-gen connectivity. We'll leave you with some bizarre information that we're not sure what to make of. A rumor has suggested that as well as the Huawei P40, P40 Pro and P40 Lite, there could be a Huawei P40 Pro Premium Edition, with the most top-end specs of the lot. That's a strange name, and it seems weird that Huawei would add yet another phone to a line that might not be available in many places, if the Mate 30 series is anything to go by, which is why we're not totally sold just yet. What we want to see. That's all we know about the Huawei P40 and P40 Pro, so we've put together some upgrades we'd like see the company enact for the upcoming handsets. 1. A new camera lens. When the Huawei P30 Pro came out with 4 lenses, it was one of the first smartphones to do so, and even the P30's 3 were impressive. But now more affordable smartphones have 4 cameras, like the Honor 20, so one way for Huawei to continue its photography dominance, and distinguish itself from the competition, would be to add yet another lens. Our top choice for this extra lens would be a Motorola One Action-style Action Cam for recording video, as video-specific cameras are things we haven't seen too much in cameras. An anamorphic lens would also be great for recording video, as that type of lens is used by professional filmmakers as it letterboxes the footage and captures lens flare, with other perks too. 2. Wireless charging. This is something we ask for in every new phone, as it's a feature that's becoming bigger over time, but wireless charging on the Huawei P40 would be a really useful feature that would fit its premium status. We're hopeful this feature will be added. The Huawei P30 Pro had wireless charging, as did the Mate 20 Pro, so it's probably on a matter of time before Huawei brings the feature to its non-Pro phones. 3. Improved display technology. If we were to sum up the Huawei P30 and P30 Pro displays, it'd be good not great. The OLED or HDR10, which is fine for viewing content, but nothing on competitors with Quad HD or even 4K displays. Huawei is always trying to be competitive in the camera department, and to view increasingly amazing pictures you're going to need better and better displays, so it would make sense for Huawei to update its range. Perhaps by fitting the Huawei P40 with AMOLED tech in the screen, with Quad HD or even 4K, Huawei could stay ahead of the competition. 4. Keep the notch. We'd like the Huawei P40 to keep the notch of the P30. This is something of a controversial stance, so stay with us here, but we don't want Huawei to follow the trend of increasingly bizarre and gimmicky notch alternatives. The reason for this is that, currently, there are no better solutions to the front-facing camera problem. Punch hole cutouts take up as much, if not more space, and pop-up cameras are a gimmick that can be an inconvenience when done well, and very annoying when not. It'd be good if Huawei could shrink the P30 Pro's notch, which is rather thick, but the P30's is slim and inoffensive compared to that of many other phones. Better to imitate this than try something different, that ends up backfiring. 5. A redesigned user interface. This is going to be less of a controversial opinion. We'd like Huawei to redesign EMUI, its own brand user interface, in time for the Huawei P40. Currently, EMUI is arguably rather bright, some would call it garish, and it comes with quite a bit of bloatware that you'll find yourself uninstalling straight away. Chinese phone manufacturers frequently have UIs that are popular in China, but not as much elsewhere, and EMUI is a prime example. If Huawei could dust up this UI for the Huawei P40, which may be a simple task if the phone runs on Harmony OS, it'd certainly be much more pleasant to use. 6. Even further camera zoom distance. One of the most impressive Huawei P30 features was the digital and optical zoom available on the camera, but we'd like to be wowed again if the Huawei P40 zoom saw an upgrade. The Huawei P30 allowed for 3x optical zoom and 30x digital, and the P30 Pro saw up to 5x optical and 50x digital. That's pretty impressive sight. But now that smartphones like the Oppo Reno 10X zoom support a crazy 60x zoom, despite the name, Huawei is going to have to pull out the big guns to keep competitive. Perhaps we could see an improved telephoto lens in the P40 and P40 Pro, as well as a better megapixel count so that digital zoom creates less grainy results. 7. Dual lens front camera. Huawei's smartphones are noted for their rear camera arrays, but we'd like to see the Huawei P40 cameras on the front to also allow for competition-crushing pictures, and the best way for Huawei to achieve this would be by having multiple front-facing cameras. We've already seen this done in phones like the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, which has 2 cameras on the front which see depth in order to add appropriate bokeh background blur. If there was something similar in Huawei's upcoming phones, even just the Huawei P40 Pro, it'd give the device a competitive edge. 8. Increased IP protection rating. While the Huawei P30 Pro had IP68 protection, making it pretty much accident-proof, it means it's dust-resistant, and can be submerged up to 2 meters for half an hour. The P30 had only an IP53 rating, so it was dust and splash protected, but if you dunk it in the bath along with your P30 Pro, it's not turning on afterwards. We'd like the Huawei P40 to have resistance to match its P40 Pro counterpart. We don't like having to worry about the safety of our smartphone at all times, and if the P40 could match the P30 Pro's protection, it'd help us sleep safe and sound at night, and by bodies of water. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more review videos.